Lakini kuna kitu fulani unasikiaga hapa, sijui kama nitaita kiwaru. Ukienda kumeza mate unapata akiendi. Hiyo ni reaction gani?
Kiwaru. That's a very interesting topic, but
mkoaji my viewers, kama kawaida mimi naitwa MC Gadhuku. Tumeingia leo na another podcast ya Swala Kuu. Leo tukiongea kuhusu heartbreak. Swali ni je, ushaiachana, na kama uliachwa ulisikia aje? Mimi yote siwezi elezea kwa sababu niko na mgeni wetu wa siku ya leo. Atatuambia jina ndio tuendelee. Karibu sana mgeni.
Yes, hello, thank you Gadhuku kwa this chance, this platform, and ya kuappear before the cameras and talk more about the psychological stuff and most importantly ni correlated na heartbreaks. Juu yenyewe comrades wakapitia huko, ukipatana na comrades wanapita huko nje, unapata mtu anatembea tu sijui ni kama analala akienda juu mtu akapitia. Yeah, my name is Lewis. And I'll be your guest today, and I'm honored to be here with you. And for our viewers, very much welcome, and let us work together in this journey.
Karibu sana Lewis, na tukiendelea ni vizuri nikufahamishe hii video utaipata kwa TikTok page MC Gadhuku, YouTube MC Gadhuku, Facebook ni MC Gadhuku, pia tukipatana uniite MC Gadhuku. Tukianza ni vizuri nikuulize heartbreak ni nini kwa psychology?
So heartbreaks in psychology. Wow. Psychology is very sweet, and it brings the psychological explanation, the logical explanation. Behind all the dramas tunaonaga huku mademu amefight over kijana, sijui wametusiana sijui nini, all the dramas related to the heartbreaks. But heartbreaks from a psychological view, that is the emotional and physical pain. I'm very sure for us, actually, yes, let me use for us, when tumepitia through heartbreaks, there's that physical pain you feel, and you can't explain it. You don't know why it's happening. The chest aches, loss of motivation, withdrawal, and everything that you experience during that time. So psychology defines it as the emotional and physical pain. Emotional in parts of in terms of the withdrawal, and the physical in terms of the headaches, heartaches, and all those. So psychology defines heartbreak as just the emotional and the physical pain.
Emotional and physical pain.
Yeah.
Na bona zinakuwa painful. Sababu umesema kuna emotional and physical pain, sasa hiyo jina pain. Mtu hawezi kuwa heartbroken na uendelee tu as if nothing has happened.
Obvious, there is the attachment. Heartbreaks, as we shall look into it later about the attachment styles. Lakini tukue tu real. Heartbreaks ni painful sana sana, comrades. Why? Because firstly, tuseme sana sana first, yes, it's their first love. First love, for those when you know about first love, of which I know it's like everyone, they are so deep-seated. It's an innocent person, and they get into a relationship with a person, and this person ameanza kuset his or her life kwa huyo mtu, ashaanza kuona familia, and his mind doesn't have that space. What if tuachane? Ako serious, ako innocent, and he or she is very determined. Everything is going to work. Very determined. And then all of a sudden, that the breaking of the first love is so painful. First love. Of course, the others too are too painful. But if it's not your first love, obvious, maybe you use your coping mechanisms from the first love. So you have a little bit of experience, so it will not be as painful. Secondly, heartbreaks at campus level, in psychology, there is a stage. We have stages of development, and there is a stage that we call the identity versus something like that. So we are in a stage that we are trying to know who we are. We are discovering. So everything we do, every person we meet, we tend to build our life, our careers, and the imaginary in the mind based on that person. It's called crisis. So I'm trying to figure out who am I? Who am I going to be with? And when I meet a person, I tend to take maybe this is the one. Nafikiria, okay, finally. Nimempata wangu. And then I'm so confident tunaendelea. And then all of a sudden, in that crisis, you are already in crisis, your career, who you are, boom, your heartbreak imekuja. And then you are left in more crisis than yenye ilikuwa, sindio? And that way, peer influence at social media. You can see people akisema kwa social media, mi venye niliachwa, I experienced this and this, and others wanna talk behind your back, here aliachwa, juu dem, nini. And then the social media makes your self-esteem to go down. For example, tuseme ni dark skin. And then uko hapo watu wanasema nani anaweza kana dark skin ka hivyo. And then there are other hashtags yenye sisi tumia hapa because very bad terms
because of the platform, obvious. And then unapata mwingine anasema huyo kijana ni mfupi sana. And then the behind the back people are talking about you and you are suffering. So it's pain of another pain. It's a double pain. So that's why you find some heartbreaks, they are so painful. Tumesema sasa mtu ameacha, unapata umependa mtu hata unaanza kuimagine venye tutakuwa na familia na yeye, tena umetambia kuhusu fast trap, alafu all of a sudden boom, ameacha.
Nyaka imezima.
Pengine unaweza tuelezea sasa after hiyo sasa, according to psychology, sasa huyo mtu mwenye ameheartbreak sasa ana react aje?
Yeah. So, heartbreaks, psychological. We have so many psychological reactions when someone is heartbroken. For example, some people experience what we call anxiety and rumination. Rumination comes from the word recalling, like let me take you back a small bit to the agriculture high school. Ruminants. Ruminants ni hizi ng'ombe, they chew cud. Si ng'ombe wanyama. They swallow the foods and then
they chew the cud later.
They bring it out later. So rumination, it's just like that. Yes, umeachana na but it's almost all the time you are scrolling the pictures, the memories, the flashbacks. Every time you are thinking about them, and even you find yourself dreaming about them. That's called rumination. Recording the life that you had with them. There's also another thing we call rebound behaviors. I'm very sure you have seen mtu ametoka kwa relationship. Then after 2 days, akona mwingine. Yeah, that's a psychological reaction to heartbreaks. It's when you are trying to fill the void. Kuna hiyo emptiness imeachwa na mwenye mmeachana. And then you are trying to fill the void, and in the process unajipata you are using someone else to fill that void. Of which it never ends well, because he can never fit perfectly as the one who was before. So the void itakaa hapo, and then maybe it will only cause more pain than before. And the rebound behaviors inaweza kuwa physical person, then unapata wengine wameenda kwa dating sites like Tinder. Saa mtu
unazijua
leo. Of course, as a psychologist, I'm supposed to be knowing all these things for the sake of my clients. Unapata mtu umeachana leo, jioni yako kwa Tinder anatafuta a very handsome guy. Ndo hiyo ashaanza. There is also another reaction, psychological, called revenge posting.
Revenge
posting.
Umekuwa kwa mission ya kulipisha.
Yeah, unalipisha. And we call it revenge posting is a lie to ourselves. You are lying to yourself. Maybe unafanya, let's say you are a lady. Unafanya makeup vizuri. Then you post something like some people are just not worth your time. But behind the scenes ya hiyo video you are crying. Ukikuja kwa watu you are so good. Umevaa poa, mimi nime move on. But you're just lying to yourself. And then usiku uko pale. You see, that's called revenge posting. You and for the gents, the normally mtu anaweka picha amepiga luku, maybe ako gym and you are trying to convince yourself that you are okay. But in the real sense, you are not okay. You are just masking your emotions. Are you getting me? Yes, and there is withdrawal and isolation. Withdrawal, let me tell you a little bit of psychology, the hormonal aspect. There is a hormone we call dopamine. Dopamine is the hormone that is responsible for motivation. Dopamine is, let me use the example of someone who is addicted to drugs. When let's say it's banging, you do that kapaf. Dopamine gets released in the brain, and then you feel motivated. That's why they say, I'm feeling high. That's the work of dopamine. Dopamine levels, they are responsible for rewarding your brain. So, same case with heartbreaks. Dopamine is released when you are cuddling, hugging, the affirmation talks hizo unakaa poa na mwingine kama wewe, siwezi ona mwingine kama wewe, ni wewe tu peke yako. Yes, your brain feels good and it rewards you with the dopamine hormone responsible for the motivation. So when that person has left, there is a crash. It's called dopamine crash. And the brain has been cut off the dopamine. So there's no motivation. The constant text, the hugging, haziko zimeenda. So you are just there, you are not motivated, and you find yourself, you have withdrawn yourself from your friends. You just want to sit in your house all the day, sleeping and thinking about that person. That's another psychological reaction, withdrawal. Kumaanisha mtu mwenye akona withdraw hawezi tumia revenge posting. Yeah, sasa huyo that's another thing I said about the attachment styles. We are coming to it in a little bit. So kuna mtu utapata experience anxiety, determination, but at the same point yes uko anarecall usiku anarecall akiwa peke yako, but uko akienda kwa watu kwa the cameras anasema hey, I'm okay, I've moved on. You're trying to convince yourself you're okay. So unaweza pata mtu ame experience mbili at the same time. Yeah, so there's no limit. You can experience this and this. Yeah, you can have double reactions. Kuna watu wa makasiriko. Revenge posting ndio watu wa makasiriko. Unapata mtu umeachana alafu mkiweka naye kuuza so huyo mtu anawagia vibaya. The thing about revenge posting inakuanga they are trying to win the heartbreak. Hataki akae kama ni aliachwa. So hataki to admit he or she is hurting. So they are doing that to try and win. Whereas they are causing more harm to themselves. What revenge posting does is it suppresses the emotions. Kusuppress ni kufinyilia ziko hujazitoa. Ni kama venye unaweza kuwa sijui ushaipatwa na hii inaitangwa aje in Kikuyu my language we call it mahira, in Kiingereza we call it when you have a kidonda that something that emulsion that comes yellowish, yeah, that thing ikiwa hapo inauma kabisa, but the moment maybe umeduka ikatoka and then you feel released. So what revenge posting does is ina suppress your emotions. Ziko ndani yako zinauma kabisa, but you don't want to let them out to admit. And then those emotions they eventually leak out. Zitajionyesha aje? Huyu mtu atakuwa katika kadogo ashakasirika. kadogo ashaje hivyo destroy relationships, unapata wanasema sijui nini bana hivyo mood swings, unapata huyo mtu tu unamuongelesha tu hata kama moods is because you have suppressed your emotions and they are looking for a way kutoka. You shouldn't suppress your emotions. They are looking for a way to get out. And in the way they hurt others, because when you get irritated, maybe utaongelesha mtu vibaya, utaongelesha mtu vibaya, kitu maybe mlikuwa mnasaidiana kuachana. And then the person on the other side, unajua hata elewa unapitia hiyo, hata kuelewa. So, wewe ndio utaumia. So, suppression of emotions is so dangerous because in the process it ends up hurting others.
Kama kumaanisha Maidhi akienda pale apate mtu alikuwa sawa, anakasirishwa kidogo analia, anakasirishwa kidogo anakasirika, kumaanisha anaweza kuwa victim wa heartbreak.
Not only heartbreak, it's when we talk about today we are talking about heartbreak, so I don't want to get out of the topic. But the suppression of emotions inakuwa about so many issues. Inaweza kuwa mlikosana na mzazi, inaweza kuwa you are failed in your exams and you are trying to suppress your emotions, and then they leak out, they find a way to express themselves. That's why I say ukiongelesha mtu akuongelesha vibaya, and then you see that not the character huyo mtu normally they doesn't behave that, you should try and get to them and say, hey, what's happening, what doesn't I know, nini uniambi. You try to understand. See now akuje juu and it ends up to be a drama.
Na pia tukiongea hiyo tu kuhusu emotional reaction, kuna kitu fulani mtu anasikiaga hapa. Mimi sina experience lakini
umejuaje mtu anasikiaga?
Lakini kuna kitu fulani unasikiaga hapa, sijui kani nitaita kiwari. Ukienda kumeza mate unapata akiedi. Hiyo ni reaction gani?
That's a very interesting topic, but yes, I know a little bit of it, but it's a more biological term. It's so much biological explanations that I can't get on my. But if you want to know more about it, it's called the Grobust what? Something like Grobust something. Inakuwaga, it's when you are trying to swallow up your emotions. Mtu amekufanyia kitu, umeudhika, unasikia, it's like unaweza mua at that instant. And then unasikia kitu hapa akilamu. Inaitagwa ramping effect in a layman's language, but the biological term is Grobust something. The lump in the throat effect, after that, because if you want to know more about that, it's when someone amekufanyia kitu and you are so pissed, you are so annoyed, unataka kuswallow hizo emotions, you utaki kuzitoa, ukizitoa itakuwa catastrophic. So you try to kuzimeza, and then when the brain is trying to do that, to swallow your emotions, to suppress them, there is the tension of the muscles, sana in the gut, and then the muscles, they call it some spasm somehow. Hiyo siwezi elezea poa, it's biological. So in short, after the ramping effect, something to do with the brain in connection with the muscles kwa the throat.
Kwa hiyo ati nikitu nakuwa hapa ni muscles.
See, it's not a solid object by the way, it's a muscles. Imeisha hapo yenye imefura, tuseme kufura. When you're trying to swallow the emotions, kufura.
Pengine unaweza tuelezea between these emotional damages, nini inafanya utafeel bad at which extent, nini that determine. Utapata mtu mmoja amesikia hiyo kitu hapa na imeisha na yeye amemove on. Kuna mwingine atakaa a week, mwingine a month, mwingine unapata even after 10 years mtu anakuja anaelezea, lakini mtu fulani yako nifanyia poa.
Lakini haiwezi kama that haiwezi kama what it happens is when you recall about that incident, aliniacha tu hivyo. Mbona mbona, and then kinaanza kutokea juu kuna hizo emotions. Kinatokeaga when you recall about the incident. So these are the ones that determine how well or how bad you will handle your heartbreak. And the attachment styles are so much shaped by childhood experiences. So yeah, childhood experiences is another whole broad topic in psychology that we can't exhaust today, that shape today's life, who you are nowadays. Is very much determined on how your childhood was like. So the attachment styles, I'm going to be looking at 3 of them. There is the avoidant, the anxious attachment style. Ani watu wenye tu anakuwa insecure. Generally. Mtu kila saa anastalk, anasema anastalk their ex kama ame move on, anafanya nini. And kila kitu they want to see how they yule mtu tu ako anxious, insecure. Let's tuliachana. But it's like ameshikilia ka hope kiasi. At some point tutarudiana. And then anastalk too. And then ako ile insecure, maybe amepata mwingine. So every time he wants to know what's happening in their life. There's another attachment style called the secure attachment. That's a very healthy attachment style. And the people sana they experience good love from parents, relatives in childhood. So they have healthy ways of forming relationships. They are quite too much attached to the people, and they do deal so well with it. And the secure attachment, this kind of people, they deal so well with heartbreaks. Yes, they suffer, but not a lot. They don't have a lot of dramas. Like hadi unaweza shaka mtu sanacho unakaa kwa nini bana. And then there's the avoidant, kama yule mwingine. In short, kuingia kwa relationships. And the moment wameikia, then wakwe heartbroken. They are the people with this kind of attachment style who suffer the most. Because he had tried so much asije kwa hiyo relationship, and what he feared so much has happened. So at some point they tend also to blame themselves. Nilikuwa tunajua the hormones. And then a very broad term called emotional shutdown when you experience a heartbreak. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you again. And
ni follow MC Gaduku. Subscribe, like, share and comment. Ande tupatane tena. Naitwa Gaduku. Asanteni.